Hey, this is Jeff Newton. Welcome to From the Writer's Cabin. I was watching over this. I was just curious. I kept watching over this judiciary meeting between Pam Bondi and members of the House Judiciary Committee the other day, and there's a lot to be made of that performance she had. But one thing jumped out at me that I don't think has gotten enough attention that I wanted to point out. So I'm going to play it for you and just listen carefully to the end of it.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch. Not on our time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
You're a lawyer. You're not even a lawyer.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? That was great, right? You're not even a lawyer, she said to him. You're not even a lawyer. Jamie Raskin's a lawyer. He went to Harvard Law School. He graduated cum laude at Harvard Law School. He then went on to become a prosecutor after he passed the bar for a couple of years. He was editor of the Harvard Law Review. He then taught 26 years at American University, where he taught constitutional law. You know, the Constitution that she's supposed to know and understand, but she violates every day. You're not a lawyer. You're not even a lawyer. Like, can you imagine being the number one law enforcement person in the United States of America and not knowing that Jamie Raskin's a lawyer, that he taught constitutional law for 25 years? Can you imagine how dumb you have to be to not know that? It's amazing. Harvard Law School was ranked just for comparison with Pam. Harvard Law School was ranked by the Times Higher Education World University Rankings last year as the number 2 law school in the world behind Stanford, behind Stanford University. Now, little Miss Bondi, she went to Stetson University. It sounds kind of more like a hat, doesn't it? Like 10-gallon Bondi. I mean, does that sound like a university law school? But it is. It's Stetson University. It's down in Florida. I think it's near Tampa, Florida. They're ranking in the same Times Higher Education World University Rankings. Remember, Harvard was 2 worldwide. Stetson University was 0. They don't rank at all. They're not even in the rankings. The only place I could find a decent comparison was the recent U.S. News and World Report, which had Harvard at 6. You know, these Ivy League schools bounce around. That year, while Harvard was 6, Stetson was 99th. Now, 99 is an important number to me because, Wayne Gretzky wore number 99. But I wouldn't want to be 99th ranked law school in the country if I'm the Attorney General of the United States telling somebody like Jamie Raskin, who was editor of the Harvard Law Review, clearly one of the top legal law schools in the entire planet, that he doesn't know what he's talking about, first of all, and secondly, that he didn't go to law, that he wasn't a lawyer. It just strikes me as ridiculous, right? But that's who she is. The fact that she doesn't know this is actually more troubling. I mean, if you're supposed to be the top police person, the top legal person in the United States, top law enforcement person in the United States, wouldn't you think you'd have better investigative skills than the guy you're sitting across from, who everybody on the planet knows is a rock star, who taught constitutional law, the kind of thing that you're trying to skirt all the time? Wouldn't you want to know his background a little bit? He's the ranking, he's not just a member of the committee, Judiciary Committee, he's the ranking Democratic member. She doesn't know anything about him. Stunning. If it's not in that book of hers, where she has all the digs on people, she doesn't know it. And apparently her researchers, or the people who prepared that for her, didn't put in there, hey, watch out, you're talking to Jamie Raskin, he teaches constitutional law, all the way up until 2017 when he entered Congress. Man, stupid is stupid. You can't teach stupid. And this also says something else. Is this the reason that, I'm thinking it might be the reason why she keeps putting all the victims' names unredacted in the Epstein files, because she doesn't have attention to detail. Is that it, you think? She just forgets to redact those? And that the law actually says she has to redact the victims' names. And lo and behold, she has not been redacting the victims' names very much. A lot of times the victims' names are still in there. But then it kind of comes into this weird contradiction in the sense that she's really, really, really good at making sure her and her staff redact all the pedophiles and the enablers and all the co-conspirators in the Epstein files. She gets some reason. She redacts those ones really well. So it's kind of a mystery to me. I don't know. Do you remember when she was making all those criticisms of Merrick Garland in the meeting, former Attorney General under Biden, basically gigging him for people not asking him about why he wasn't doing more on the Epstein files? I think it's worth noting at this point that during a lot of this time, the Epstein files and Epstein charges were being thrown around, and Obama was dealing with it. And, she was the Attorney General of Florida. Who had places down in Florida? Did Epstein have places down in Florida? Did Donald Trump have houses down in Florida? Was he living down there? It's just a question. So when you're criticizing Merrick Garland, maybe you should, you get that whole, remember that saying, you point one finger, you have three pointing back at you? I'd think about that, Pam. Anyways, it's just an aside. Maybe it's not earth shattering, but Pam, Stetson University. Stetson's like a hat, a cowboy hat. And you're like, you went to the cowboy hat university and he went to Harvard. It'd be useful for you to remember in the future. Thanks. Listen, follow my Substack From the Writer's Cabin. $8 a month or $80 a year. Save $16 if you buy the annual subscription. And follow us there if you can. You can get free subscriptions and paid subscriptions. The paid ones help us do this work. And instead of just looking at the news clips, we're looking at hours and hours of video so we can get the best stuff and highlight things that maybe people might miss. Thanks a lot. Talk to you guys soon. Misfits, take care. Have a good weekend.